Yamaha Clavinova digital pianos have now been with us for over 40 years, and I've been here for all of those 40 years. My name's Justin from AC Hamilton in Preston. In fact, we've even got customers who've got 20 or 30-year-old Clavinovas still working, so it's a testament to the reliability and the longevity of Yamaha Clavinova digital pianos. So fast forward to 2025, I'm going to here with two very fine Yamaha Clavinova digital pianos. That's the CLP885 and the CSP295. Now they both have a top level piano sound, Yamaha CFX Grand, Yamaha Bosendorfer, and they both have a top level key action. They both have a top level speaker system. So all the important things, if you just want a fantastic piano, both of these instruments do that job fantastically well, whether you're a beginner or whether you're a very accomplished pianist. So as a piano, they're both fantastic. They're both on a similar level. Price wise, they're also on a similar level. CSP is a little bit more expensive, but it's kind of in the same territory. They're both available in satin black, polished ebony and polished white. Now they both have access to the Yamaha Smart Pianist app. If you've not seen the Yamaha Smart Pianist app, have a look at the videos. It's been around for a while now, but it's truly amazing when people walk into the store, again, whether you're a beginner, you're learning the piano, or you're already a good player, everybody finds it absolutely amazing. But what you need to know is there's quite a difference in how many features are accessible from the CLP885 than the CSP295, because when you go to the CSP295, there's a lot more features with it in the app that become available. So it's the tuition side, that's the same on both of them. So they're both brilliant at that. I mean, when we come to the tuition side, there's lots of other apps out there in the market, but I believe none of them work as well as the Yamaha Smart Pianist. And I think that's because, you know, it actually connects with your piano. It's actually integral. It's speaking to each other, so it really works in a much better way than some of the other apps out there. So do check it out, but we'll come on to what are the exact differences within the Smart Pianist app. But safe to say, everybody loves it, whether you're 6, whether you're 90, everybody can work it. It's extremely intuitive and it's inspiring, and probably things you think you might not be interested in, you know, like playing the piano to an orchestra or playing other sounds other than the piano, are really inspiring when you play them, because they really put a smile on your face when you play them. So let's take a deeper look into these differences. So before we get on to that, let's just compare properly the appearance, because that might be enough for you to decide which one is your favourite, because they're both the same level of piano. So let's put them both next to each other. If we put them both next to each other, you can see the CSP295 is, you know, quite a lot taller, so it kind of has more of the look of an upright piano. Notice that the music rest is also in a different position. So if you're having music, you know, that I prefer the position of the music rest on the CSP295 because it's more sort of on your eye level. It's a little bit lower down on the CLP885, but that's a personal opinion, personal preference. So it's a simpler product in many ways. The CLP885 has a discrete touch panel on the left hand side, so you touch that panel and then it allows you to access some of the features within the piano, whereas the CSP295, it doesn't have the touch panel. All of the features are accessed through the app, But it's important to remember that if you just want to turn the piano on and play the piano, you do not need a tablet, you do not need a phone, you just turn them on, they're a great piano. So both of them do that. Okay, so we're in the Smart Pianist app. Now let's look what is the same basically on both the CLP885 and the CSP295. So first, how it is as a piano. So as we said, they're both fantastic pianos, they're both great key action, both great speaker systems, and where we are now in the piano room of the Smart Pianist app, we first of all have the two main piano sounds, which is our Yamaha CFX Grand, taken from the Yamaha CFX Grand piano, and the Bosendorfer to give you that different character of piano that we get with a European piano. It's different sound, different feel to it. So let's just do those. You can open the lid, close the lid, of course that affects the tone. We've also got the background, and the background is the ambience. So a cathedral would have a lot of ambience, and or just a room, just a small amount of echo basically. As opposed to nothing at all, dead as soon as you take your hands off. So I'd like to have a little bit of that, and that's a lot on the cathedral. And then we've got the Bosendorfer, which is say that different tone. Darker, richer tone, and again, if you drop the lid, that's even more sort of mellow. And then we have lots of other variations, Studio Grand, alternative sound, and of course, not forgetting, an upright piano sounds a lot different to a grand piano. So depending on the music you're playing, it's nice to have all of these different, even a honky tonk piano there. I don't often play that one. In the little corner there at the bottom, we've got the little red circle, so just hit that, you can record. Export it to USB. We've got the metronome, give you the old tick-tock, change the tempo, and we've got also a controller to adjust the volumes, all the different volumes we can have when we mix sounds together. Now, the second thing that's really important is the tuition side of it, and again this side of it is the same. Or just before I do that, let's just put it back to a regular piano. We don't want the honky tonk there, so we'll go back to the piano room. I'll change it to, we'll just go for the standard CFX Grand. So the lessons, and by the way, everybody we show this to finds this so intuitive to use. We've had 90-year-olds, 6-year-olds, and they can all use it. It's incredible how you know, how intuitive this this app is. You can use it on Apple or Android. This is just a regular size, it's not a super size one, and it's absolutely fine this size, because you can get even a bigger iPad or tablet. So we have this wonderful amount of free tuition effectively, and so all of these are different tuition books or exercise books, and what's great about them, they're graded. So if we've got somebody who's never played piano, we go on to the first one, and you know, even a 6-year-old never played before can actually achieve it. We get so you can hear how it should be played. You know where you are in the music, and then the great thing, we've got the guide, and then the guide means that it'll actually just wait until you hit the correct note. So if you hit the correct note, hit the wrong note, it stops. If you wait too long, obviously it stutters. If you're playing the correct time, you play the correct note, then it'll continue as it should do. So they can achieve that, and then they go on to the next level, and it's a little bit harder. And so it's really great to get people into playing the piano. And then whatever standard you are, you know, this goes up and up and up an incredible amount. So much content here of exercises. And what's great is you can take the right hand off, you can take the left hand off, practice your left hand with the right hand going at the same time, so you get the feel of how the two hands are together, even if you're only practicing the one hand. When you come to play both hands together, you already understand, you've already been used to hearing the two together. So it's just a brilliant system. You slow it down, speed it up, as any teacher will say. Slow it down, get it correctly at the slower tempo, and then gradually speed it up. So it's a fantastic resource that's all free within the Smart Pianist app. This is exactly the same on the CLP885. There is one crucial difference though, and that is above the keys there is this strip, which is the streaming lights. So on the CLP885 there is no streaming lights, so we have this visual indicator. And what's great with the streaming lights is that you have an advance warning of the note. So we used to have this system with the display indicator. It illuminated on an LED, so you knew it was that note you were meant to be hitting, but there was kind of no warning. So they've taken it one step further with the streaming light, so you get that advance warning of that note. So that's a great system. Now if you're an accomplished player, you might not want to see all these little LEDs going down on this panel, so that's fine. You can just turn off the streaming lights function, and you know, it's just this discrete black panel. But if you are learning something, then it's a great thing to have the streaming lights. So we have this, as I say, this amazing amount, all these different books with all this sort of graded different in degrees of difficulty. So it becomes, oh, let's do the next one, let's do the next one. A bit like video games getting to the next level. So it really gets you addicted into, you know, practicing your technique. So that's the same on both of them. And then we also have 50 classics. So these are not graded, so they're just the piano pieces that you would normally learn, but just as they come, you know, so not in any particular graded order. But again, we can take off the right hand, take off the left hand, you know, slow it down, speed it up. We've got the guide facility, and again with the CSP295 we've got the addition of the streaming lights. So all of that is just a fantastic resource of material for practicing, encourages you to practice. And there we are. So there we've got A and G string. listen to how it should be played, then take the right hand off, take the left hand off, put the guide on, waiting to hit the right notes, slow it down, speed it up. Another little great feature is this thing in the corner, the A-B thing in the corner, because when those of you who are used to practicing, it's quite common, you get so far in a piece of music and you always get the same bit wrong. You can always get the same bits right, you can always get the same bits wrong. So instead of going through the whole thing, you often find that with students is they go through the whole thing and it's always the same bit that they get wrong. So you can just click on the bars that you're struggling with and it just sort of loops around that, so you're only practicing the bits that you're struggling with. So that's a great feature as well. Obviously there are lots of other tuition apps out there, but I don't think any work as well as the Smart Pianist app, and that's because it's actually communicating with the piano that you've got. So it is quite unique in that sense. So back to the song section. So these are the features that are basically the same on the CLP885 and the CSP295. Now this is where it gets a bit different. So we have the 50 popular pieces of music, and then because everybody has got different tastes in music, so we might have kids that like Taylor Swift. Well, you don't have to be a kid to like Taylor Swift, but you've got all these different genres of music here, and now they are only on the CSP295, and the reason being is it's using bass lines, it's using drum tracks, it's using guitars in the backing. So all of these sounds have got to exist within the instrument, and the CSP has a much greater array of sounds within the instruments, and even if you don't actually use those sounds, they're still important for play if you want to play to a band, if you want to play to an orchestra. So that's just playing the whole thing itself. We can just take off the right hand there so we can have a go at it. Again, we can have the guide on, so it's going to wait. Play a wrong note, it's going to stop. If you take the guide off, it'll just carry on anyway and you can just play with it. So great fun, and whatever your ability, you can play just one key in the right hand to join in with it, or you can play, as a more proficient player can expand that. You can basically, so anybody of any ability can do something with it. So you have this great collection of songs of all these different types of music, and so that's anything that gets people playing and gets people enjoying it, that's what it's all about. You can take these other parts off. You don't have to have the band, you could just have the piano bits. sorts of music, all different genres, and so it's a great resource. We also have this music library. Now this is quite amazing, because in the music library you can basically get any music. You know, when I grew up, it was all records and CDs, and any content that you own. So it wouldn't include streaming music, but content of music you actually own. You'd be able to hear your, you know, Elton John, Rocket Man. You'd hear the song, and it pulls a notation from it, so you'd be able to see some notations. You can join in with your favourite artist or orchestra and play along with it, either in notation format or it comes up in the chords, just to follow the chords along. So that's also a terrific thing. Another great thing is MIDI files, and so MIDI files is something that's been out for years and years and years, and if you type into Google whatever song you're interested in, the name of the song followed by the words MIDI file, you'll basically find anything you want, and you can import it in here and you will get the score. So it's unlimited. Basically you can get virtually everything you could ever possibly want in there. The instrument will play the whole orchestration, the whole band, and will give you the notation from it, which is absolutely amazing. Again, there comes to a significant difference between the CLP885 and the CSP295, and that's the content of the voices that are built in. We can see them here. And so because when we use a MIDI file, it uses the sounds within that instrument. It's not like a recording that you're playing back. You're using the sound, whatever sound is within the instrument is being used, and that's what you'll hear. So if we play a MIDI file through, let's say, a really cheap Casio keyboard, you know, it won't sound very good. So if you play a MIDI file through a high-end, high-quality instrument, it'll sound great because the voices in the instrument are good quality. And so this is the key thing. So whereas when we talk about the piano things, then the CLP885 is on the same level as the CSP295. But when we talk about other instruments, whether you want to actually play them yourself or whether they're being used as part of the orchestration, the band, the MIDI file, that's when there is a huge difference. So in this section you can see we've got strings and vocal, and it's conveniently isolated it into subcategories, which is very visual, very easy to understand, very easy to navigate, and we've got very high quality sounds in here. And choirs and all sorts of things that are, you know, that you might enjoy just playing them. Playing a Spanish guitar, but even if you don't play them, they are still important, because if you play a piano piece and you're playing the piano piece to the orchestra, then it matters that those other voices are of a high standard. Fantastic pipe organ. So these are the classical pipe organs. brass and woodwind and the percussion and drums and everything you can possibly think of. It's incredible. It's great fun just to try them, but as I say, even if you don't think you'll actually use any of these, they still have an importance in you know, if you're playing a piano piece to an orchestra. So it's these voices on the CLP885 just simply don't exist. There are a bunch of sounds in there that it's capable of playing back MIDI files. You will hear it, but it'll be a much lower standard than the sort of premium sound. All of these are kind of high quality sounds in the CSP, whereas in the CLP885 they have hundreds of what they call XG voices, which means the voices are there to be used, but they're not of the same kind of premium standard as what's available here. So this is a significant difference. And as we said, even if you use them, if you don't use them, it doesn't matter. The piano is the same standard, and there's not a great deal difference in the price between them. So this would be one of the reasons I think anybody considering the CLP885 should maybe also look at and consider the CSP295, even if they think they just want just a piano. And don't forget, you don't have to switch an iPad on, you can just turn it on and play it simply as a piano. Another great thing you have here is this, where you can add a layered sound and a left sound. So here we have first of all the main sound, and I've picked the Superstar Grand. By the way, you've got these stars down the right, so if you find a sound that you like, rather than having to keep finding it again, you just favourite them, and then you can see the favourite tab in the top left, so you can favourite the sounds that you want. Makes it easy to find them again. So we've got a Superstar Grand, and then a layer, I've got a synth string. You know, if you're just buying this to be a piano, you might not be interested in this sort of thing, but you know, when you play them, it's pretty good, that. So, you know, it's just another aspect. It's there, you can use it, you don't have to use it, but it's there. You might use it in 3 years' time, who knows. And we've got the left side, so when we press the left side, it actually splits on the streaming lights as an indicator to show you where the split point is. So from a certain point on the keyboard to the left of that point, we can have a different sound. We can see here we've got dark fat saw, which is this sound. Right, and we've got the combination of the piano, Superstar Grand, and the synth strings. So, and you can, if you press the lines at the bottom, you can have all the adjustments. Get the right balance. See here, we've also got the microphone, so another thing you can do is plug the microphone in. You've got the adjustment of the volume there, or augs in from another device to use this fantastic speaker system within the piano. This is why you can't hear on the video, is because we go the line out straight into the camera, but if you're actually here, you can hear the sound from the cabinet of the piano, which is, when you sit in front and play it, it's a great experience. It really is like having an upright piano, and the sound is coming at you all around you. So unfortunately you can't get that impression on videos, but it really is a great experience when you sit and play it. So next thing to show you is another thing that is it is not something that people would necessarily buy this piano for, but it's there, you know, and you might use it, you might not, and it's great for different people. You know, you might be a good piano player, but you might have somebody else in the house who just wants to play basic chords and have some fun. So what happens with, you've got all these categories of styles of beats, and depending on the notes that you play in the left hand, so it follows what notes you play with a bass line or a rhythm pattern. So I've got an 80s rock beat on here. You can see that what's happening. I was fiddling about with these parts you can take off, so you just have the bass, you can just have the drums, or the other parts of the backing, and the A, B, C, D are basically the variations of the band. So A would be like the start, B a bit more, choruses, C and D, so you get this kind of build up, and you can play whatever, you know, you don't have to play the song that it sounds like. You can play basically anything, and you have this massive array of styles. Great organisation, so you're only looking at 70s stuff, you're only looking at 60s, 50s, pop and rock ballads, worship, soul, disco, dance, R&B, trance. I guess that's going to be a bit of Jean-Michel Jarre. Let's have a listen. Great fun to play with. So it's just another aspect, and you know, like I say, anything that gets you into playing or gets people enjoying music, this is what it's all about. There's another great thing here where we can have a backing without any tempo, so it's great for playing all the musical stuff. So there's no drums, there's no beat, there's just a nice sort of orchestral backing. So many options in there, and these are things that are only on the CSP295. Now the last section we did on the CSP295, you know, with the band and all the different genres of music, and you'd play notes on the piano, and the chords will, the backing will follow where you're going on the piano. This is something that most people wouldn't necessarily buy it for that, but it's just there as a bonus, and it's great fun. Now if you happen to be somebody who's really into that, then we have another piano here called the Yamaha Clavinova CVP905, which again is on the same level as a piano, same high level key action, key touch and speaker system and all the rest of it, so it's the same level as a piano. But when it comes to all of that style side, accompaniment side, it has even more than the CSP295. So it has. So if you like that kind of thing, then have a look at the CVP905. Even more on the style side and more flexibility on the style side, and it's very different because you just don't use the app with it. You know, everything, as you can see here, it's got all the buttons. The buttons that you saw me press on the app, you know, the A, B, C, D variations of the accompaniment. But it has even more. It's got lots of intros and endings, and of course it's got its own screen, so you don't need a tablet to operate anything. Everything's within the piano. So if that's your bag, then definitely have a look at CVP905. But if you're just, you know, a piano person, then you're probably going to be between the CLP885 or the CSP295. So two great Yamaha Clavinova pianos with a great action, great feel, great sound, great speakers, in roughly the same neck of the woods in terms of price. Slight differences depending on colour, finishes, and you can play them both, you know, without a tablet. You can just turn them on and play them as a piano. Your decision might be purely based on you prefer the look of one or the other, and that would be absolutely fine. Another thing, you know, you may prefer the fact that the CLP885 has got a touch screen panel, and there are a number of features you can access within that. You know, you can mix two sounds together, you can split the keyboard and have a left-hand part. You can even have a drums and a bass line access through there, all without using a tablet. But everything is just more on the CSP295. You have more and better facilities. So, you know, if you're thinking, you know, I just want a simple piano, that is absolutely fine. But the point that I like to make is that, you know, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. So other people in the house might want to get use out of it, and because you've got those extra facilities on the CSP295, that gives them an option of enjoying the piano as well, which could be a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. So and then also yourself, you know, you might in 3 years time do something that you're not doing today. So for instance, if you're a pianist and you like playing orchestral music, you know, or you're doing GCSE music or music at A level, then orchestrating a piece of music is a great thing. And on the CSP295 we can actually orchestrate. We can play our piano part, we can add a violin part, we can add a cello part, up to 16 parts. So that's something that is, you might never use it, but it's there, you know. So these options, playing it as a band, these other sounds which are higher quality on the 295. Again, you know, you might not think you like playing a choir sound or a violin sound or a pipe organ sound, but in the future you might, and you might orchestrate these sounds together. So it has that versatility. I mean, they're both very versatile, but everything is just more facilities, better options in terms of other sounds on the CSP295. So so two great options. They both have 5-year warranty. They both have 3 months access to Yamaha's Flow Key, where you can get lots of extra premium content of sounds downloaded straight to your tablet. I do think that if I had a CLP885, I would still use a tablet because everything's much easier on the tablet. You know, even if you're just doing something basic like picking a piano and adding a little bit of strings to it, you know, everything is much, or even recording, everything's much simpler and easier on the tablet. The Smart Pianist app is fantastic. Everybody who uses it, everybody who comes in here absolutely falls in love with it, you know, whether that be on the CLP885 or the CSP295. And I believe it's the best app out there because it's integrated with your piano. It's not like a separate thing. So do check out the Yamaha Smart Pianist. As one of our customers pointed out, so I went and had a look at the Smart Pianist, and some of the reviews were a little bit dodgy. And if you do that, be careful that you only look at reviews of people who've actually got an appropriate piano, because there's lots of reviews there that I think they've got a, you know, a cheap keyboard and they've tried to download the Smart Pianist app, so obviously they're not happy with the results. So but trust me, the Smart Pianist app is great. Everybody absolutely loves it. So and if you think you're a technophobe, absolutely everybody can use it. So, and we've had the experience time and time again, and everybody can use it no matter what age, no matter what ability or not ability you have. Everybody finds that app so easy to use and intuitive. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and any questions, give us a call or give us a comment, and see you on the next one.